Let me start with a moment I'll never forget. A few years ago, a woman in her early 70s sat across from me in my clinic. Smart, independent, still sharp as ever. She leaned forward, lowered her voice, and said, "Dr. Malone, I'm scared to walk to the bathroom at night. Not because she was weak, not because she was careless, but because her legs no longer felt like they belonged to her. Cold, heavy, unsteady. That fear of falling, of losing independence, is something I see every single week. And here's the hard truth most people don't realize until it's too late. After 60, poor circulation doesn't just slow you down. It triples your risk of falling, triples it. And once a fall happens, life can change in an instant. But here's what almost no one is telling you. This decline is not inevitable, and in many cases, it's not permanent. In fact, there is one specific drink, something simple, something backed by decades of research, that can begin reversing this damage within hours. Not days, not weeks, hours. I'm Dr. Sharon Malone, and today I'm going to walk you through exactly what's happening inside your legs, why everything you've been told so far hasn't worked, and which drinks actually restore circulation versus which ones are a complete waste of your time. I'll rank all 10 for you, from the worst to the absolute best. And the number one drink on this list widens your arteries by up to 30%. That's not a small improvement. That's the difference between shuffling cautiously and walking with confidence. The difference between numb, icy feet and legs that finally feel alive again. What's almost funny, if it weren't so tragic, is that the most powerful drink on this list is probably already sitting in your kitchen. But you're either not drinking it at all, or you're drinking it the wrong way. Stick with me, because what I'm about to explain goes against much of what traditional advice has been pushing for years. And by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why your circulation may have gotten worse, even though you followed all the expert recommendations. Let me paint a clear picture of what's happening inside your body. After the age of 60, your blood vessels begin producing up to 70% less nitric oxide. 70%. Nitric oxide is not a trendy supplement or a wellness buzzword. It is the single most important molecule for keeping your arteries relaxed, flexible, and open. Without it, your blood vessels stiffen. They narrow. They lose their ability to respond. Blood struggles to reach your feet and lower legs, especially against gravity. And this isn't just about cold toes. When circulation drops, oxygen delivery drops. Waste products accumulate. Nerves suffer, muscles weaken, balance worsens. And what worries me the most, because I've seen the consequences firsthand, is that microscopic clots begin forming in those narrowed vessels. You can't feel them, you can't see them. But day after day, they quietly increase your risk. Now, the standard advice you hear is familiar. Take aspirin, walk more, elevate your legs, wear compression socks. And yes, those things help a little, but let me be very clear with you. They are treating the symptoms, not the cause. The real issue is the collapse of nitric oxide production. And here's the good news, that collapse is reversible, but only if you address it directly. Certain drinks force your body to produce nitric oxide again, not through magic, not through hype, through well-understood biochemistry that has been validated in thousands of clinical studies. Your body converts specific compounds, mainly nitrates and amino acids, into nitric oxide. When that happens, your blood vessels relax within minutes. This process is called vasodilation. That's just a medical term for arteries opening up, like turning a narrow alley into a wide highway. When circulation improves this way, blood flow to the legs can increase by 40 to 60% in a single day. You feel it. The heaviness lifts, the cramping eases, the cold fades, and over time, real healing begins. New capillaries form, nerve signaling improves, and fall risk drops dramatically. But here's where things get tricky. Not all circulation drinks are equal. Some barely move the needle. Some work but come with real downsides. And a few, just a few, are absolute game changers that cost pennies a day. I spent months reviewing the research, speaking with vascular specialists, and testing these myself. And I'm going to rank all 10 for you now, starting with the ones that simply aren't enough. Drink number 10 is plain water. Hydration matters. Dehydration thickens the blood and slows circulation. But water alone does almost nothing to restore circulation after 60. Studies show only about an 8% improvement in blood flow. 8%. That's not going to counteract a 70% nitric oxide loss. Water contains no nitrates, no compounds that trigger vasodilation. It keeps the engine from seizing, but it doesn't improve performance. Necessary, yes. Sufficient, no. Score, 2 out of 10. Drink number 9 is green tea. Green tea has benefits: antioxidants, brain health, metabolic support. But for leg circulation, the effect is modest. About a 12% improvement, and only with long-term, consistent use. It works slowly, over months, not hours. Miss a few days and the benefit fades. And for some people, the caffeine actually constricts blood vessels. Many people also brew it incorrectly, destroying half the beneficial compounds. Useful, but underwhelming. Score, 3 out of 10. Drink number 8 is tart cherry juice. Now we're improving. Tart cherry juice reduces arterial stiffness and inflammation. Studies show about an 18% improvement in blood flow over time. But it's loaded with sugar, about 30 grams per cup. That insulin spike can temporarily worsen circulation, especially if you have prediabetes or diabetes. It also adds up financially. It works, but slowly and imperfectly. Score, 4 out of 10. Drink number 7 is pomegranate juice. Powerful antioxidants protect nitric oxide from breaking down. Blood flow improves about 22%. Plaque reduction has been documented, but again, the sugar content is high and the cost is steep. Effective, but not efficient. Score, 5 out of 10. Drink number 6 is a proper cocoa drink made from pure, unsweetened cocoa powder. Cocoa flavanols increase nitric oxide production significantly, and the effect begins within 2 hours. Legs warm up, tingling eases, but it must be prepared correctly, without sugar. Sweeteners matter here. Done right, it's powerful. Done wrong, it backfires. Score, 6 out of 10. Drink number 5 is watermelon juice. Rich in L-citrulline, which converts directly into nitric oxide. Blood flow improves nearly 30%. People often feel warmth within hours. Lower glycemic impact than other juices. The downside is availability and convenience. Still, an excellent option. Score, 7 out of 10. Drink number 4 is hibiscus tea. This one is criminally underrated. It improves endothelial function, lowers blood pressure, and boosts blood flow by over 30% in some studies. It's fast, affordable, and effective. The only caution is for those already on blood pressure medications. Score, 8 out of 10. Drink number 3 is celery juice, packed with natural nitrates. Blood flow can increase up to 40% within hours. It's powerful, proven, and effective, but the taste and prep can be barriers. Still, medically speaking, it's excellent. Score, 8.5 out of 10. Drink number 2 is an arugula smoothie. Arugula is the most nitrate-dense vegetable on the planet. Blood flow improves over 40% with consistent use. The results are dramatic, but it requires daily commitment and preparation. Score, 9 out of 10. And finally, drink number 1, beetroot juice. This is the gold standard, the most reliable, fastest, and most sustained improvement in circulation we see from a drink. Blood flow improves up to 50% within hours. Walking endurance increases. Cramping decreases. Arterial stiffness drops. The research is overwhelming. 8 ounces every morning on an empty stomach. Simple, affordable, powerful. Score, 10 out of 10. Here's how to put this into practice. Beetroot juice every morning. Empty stomach. In the afternoon, add hibiscus tea or celery juice. Rotate arugula smoothies if you want maximum results. Within days, warmth returns. Within weeks, walking improves. Within a month, your circulation can look dramatically different. Your body is not broken, it's undernourished. Circulation decline is not an aging sentence. It's a correctable deficiency. Commit to 30 days, just 30. and see what happens when you finally give your blood vessels what they've been missing all along. And before you think this sounds too simple, let me slow this down and speak to you the way I speak to my own patients when the exam room door is closed and it's just the two of us. Because this part matters. What we're really talking about here isn't just circulation. We're talking about independence. We're talking about being able to stand up without bracing yourself, walk across a room without scanning the floor for hazards, get out of bed at night without that quiet fear in the back of your mind that says, "What if my legs don't respond?" Poor circulation steals confidence long before it steals mobility. And once confidence is gone, people start moving less. They sit more. They isolate more. That alone accelerates decline faster than any number on a blood pressure chart. This is why I get frustrated when circulation is treated like a minor inconvenience instead of what it really is, a tipping point. Once blood flow drops below a certain threshold, your body goes into survival mode. It prioritizes the heart and brain and quietly sacrifices the legs. That's why your feet are cold even in warm rooms. That's why your calves cramp at night. That's why wounds on the lower legs heal slowly. Your body is rationing blood because it doesn't have enough nitric oxide to distribute it properly, and no amount of willpower can override that biology. Now, let's address something important that almost no one explains correctly. Many people are told, just walk more to improve circulation. On paper, that sounds logical. Movement does help if your blood vessels are capable of opening. But if nitric oxide levels are low, walking can actually make symptoms worse at first. Muscles demand more oxygen, but stiff arteries can't deliver it. That's why so many older adults tell me, "Dr. Malone, I try to walk, but my legs get heavy, tight, or painful." That's not laziness, that's physiology. Fix the blood vessels first, and movement becomes healing instead of punishing. This is also why supplements alone often disappoint. Nitric oxide pills, L-arginine capsules, fancy powders. Many of them look good on the label, but fail in the real world. The body absorbs nitric oxide far more effectively from food-based nitrates, especially liquids. Liquids hit the bloodstream faster, they bypass digestive bottlenecks, and when taken on an empty stomach, the conversion to nitric oxide is significantly higher. That's not opinion, that's documented in controlled trials. I also want to talk about something that scares people unnecessarily, the word nitrates. For years, nitrates were lumped together with processed meats and preservatives, and people were told to avoid them. That was a massive misunderstanding. The nitrates that damage health come from processed foods, combined with chemicals and high heat. The nitrates from vegetables, beets, arugula, celery, do the exact opposite. They protect blood vessels. They lower blood pressure. They reduce clot formation. The same molecule, two very different contexts. Nature versus factory. Now let me walk you through what typically happens when someone follows this protocol correctly. Day 1, you drink beetroot juice in the morning. Within 2 to 3 hours, arteries begin to relax. Some people notice warmth that same day. Day 3, nighttime cramping starts to ease. Day 7, walking feels less labored. By week 2, balance improves because nerves are getting better blood supply. By week 4, the change is no longer subtle. It's obvious to you and often to the people around you. I've had patients tell me their spouses noticed they were walking faster without realizing it. But this only works if you avoid the common mistakes. Let me be very clear here. If you drink beet juice with breakfast, you cut its effectiveness dramatically. If you rinse with antiseptic mouthwash afterward, you kill the bacteria needed to convert nitrates into nitric oxide. If you buy beet cocktails loaded with apple juice and sugar, you blunt the benefit. Precision matters. Medicine is not just about what you take, it's about how you take it. I also want to address safety because that's my responsibility as a physician. If you are on blood pressure medication, monitor your readings. Improved circulation often lowers blood pressure naturally. That's a good thing, but it needs awareness. If you have kidney stones, especially calcium oxalate stones, talk with your doctor before heavy beet intake, and never, ever stop prescribed medications abruptly. These drinks support your vascular system. They don't replace medical supervision. Here's another overlooked benefit that surprises people. Improved circulation improves brain function. When nitric oxide production increases, cerebral blood flow improves as well. People report clearer thinking, better focus, fewer dizzy spells when standing. That's not a coincidence. Blood vessels don't exist in isolation. When you heal one part of the system, the entire network benefits. I want you to understand something deeply. Aging did not break your circulation. Modern eating did. Your grandparents ate nitrate-rich foods without thinking about it. Beets, greens, roots, seasonal vegetables. We replaced those with refined grains, sugar, and ultra-processed foods stripped of vascular supporting compounds. Then we blamed age for the consequences. That's not fair, and it's not accurate. So here's what I ask of you. Don't do everything at once. Start with one thing, beetroot juice. Every morning, empty stomach, 30 days, that's it. Put it next to your toothbrush so you don't forget. Make it non-negotiable. Then, if you want to build on that foundation, add hibiscus tea or celery juice later in the day. Let your body show you what it can do when it finally has the tools it needs. Take note of how your legs feel when you stand. Pay attention to how confident you feel walking at night. Notice whether your feet are warmer, whether your calves feel lighter, whether stairs feel less intimidating. These are real-world markers of healing, not abstract lab values. I've spent my career watching what happens when circulation fails. I've also seen what happens when it's restored. The difference is profound. And the most frustrating part is this. It doesn't require expensive treatments or complicated interventions. It requires understanding and consistency. Your legs carry you through life. They deserve proper blood flow, and you deserve to feel steady, warm, and confident in your own body again. Start tomorrow morning. Give it 30 days, and let your circulation remind you of what it's capable of doing when you finally stop working against it and start working with it.